Welcome to Santa Monica Municipal Airport. So, this is going to be a bit of an anniversary flight for me. Not exactly on the day, but sure that'll do. Cessna 172 here in Santa Monica Airport. So it took me a little bit of while to get the hang of all of these things. Tried first with the NVIDIA recording. Things didn't work out. Switched to OBS, Streamlabs OBS, seems to be working good. So I'm on Microsoft Flight Simulator. I got a RTX 2070, which is apparently, I don't know, 80 times better than my last device according to the marketing, but it's a bit better. Probably maybe 10% better, I would say, not 800% better. So here we are, there's a shadow there. There was some grass on that shadow on the ground, which was quite interesting. We have somebody here ready for pushback. So what we're going to do today is we're going to fly out of Santa Monica. We're going to fly over LAX using the special flight rules. And we are going to then head to Catalina Island, which is an absolutely wonderful, beautiful place. And I must say, that's where I got inspired to fly. That's why this is very special trip for me, and that's why I chose it to be my first YouTube video. So hopefully some of you guys like it, enjoy watching it, and I will progress on and make more videos, although it's taken quite a few days to get this far. So hopefully that gets better with time. And if nobody else watches it, I guess I can watch it myself in 10 or 20 years and get a laugh out of it. So either way, it's all good. So yeah, Catalina is a very special place for me. I'll tell you more about that on the way. Now let's hit ready to fly. And here we are in the airplane. So I should probably have switched everything off. Everything is off, everything is down. Okay, that's good. So now we can see this is working okay here. Our switches here are working. Okay. These are working. And let's have a look over here. So the reason I'm checking these is I have a nice setup here with a real SimGear G1000. I have my own kind of just a sheet of wood with a few holes in it, really. A couple of Satec FIPs, which are a bit buggy sometimes, but they do work with Microsoft Flight Simulator most of the time. Honeycomb Alpha throttle, or yoke, and a Bravo throttle. Bravo throttle just came 2 days before Christmas. I did not have fun until today because I had no time, it being Christmas and all that. So let's see how everything works out here. Does that? There we go. So parking brake on, parking brake's already on. So one thing I do not like about Microsoft Flight Simulator is the parking brake and the fuel pump. I can only find an option for a toggle switch, but I can't find a switch on, switch off setting, which I would much prefer to have. Okay, these are all working. This is working, and this is working. Good, and my trim is working. Everything is ready. So that's all of that checked. Then a little drone camera thing here, which hopefully works when I don't mess up the buttons. Oh, we can go up in the air and we can have a quick. Isn't that beautiful? That's early in the morning. That's exactly how it was when I came here to Santa Monica Airport after researching and looking up everything I could find on the internet. So down close, the building's not looking that good quite yet in some areas, but most of the rest of it is. So over here on the right, of course, we have the ocean, and that's just wonderful, absolutely lovely over there. And it does it's very recognizable, I think. Definitely Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 for me is it's the only thing I'll use now for VFR flying. It's really, really nice. For IFR, of course, still using X-Plane because the G1000 and all these things don't quite work as well as they should in Microsoft Flight Simulator. They work much better than some of the other ones, and you don't need any scenery, of course, for IFR. So that all looks very nice down there. It was a quick spin around, so now we can drop my drone down and come back and find the airplane. So Santa Monica, it's quite a nice little airport. A lot of nice airplanes there when you're wandering around in the car park and stuff. Whoa, there's a bus, okay. And there's my drone. Has my drone stopped traffic? Almost. Cool. Back into the airplane. So, one really nice thing that we can do now here is with the real sim gear is I can bring my mouse over here, right alt and click. Oh no, they have to be turned on first. Okay, so let's turn on the power here. Okay, there we go. There's one. Okay, this other one has to be turned on too. I'm sure I probably shouldn't turn it on before turning on the engine, but anyway, the rules in the simulator are different because it has different needs. So I put these. I gotta do this every single time that I open the flight simulator. So I bring it down, I put it on the second screen here, and then I can press Alt and Enter. Maximizes on the screen, and then these buttons should work. Yes, they do. Okay, so yeah, we are pointing at a tree, so normally I don't use pushback, but this person here is very generously waiting there for me for a long time. So we'll turn on ATC. We will tune to ground services. We bring that up here a bit. Hang on, where did I go? Okay, we can go to ground. I can turn that warning off, sorry about that. Okay, well, let's go to the 8s. Okay, so wind 057 at 8. So probably runway 3 is in use then, I guess. Visibility 10, sky conditions, shoe clouds at 600 feet. So that's good. I see my altimeter is saying we're at minus 140, so I'm looking forward to that. Another few clouds at 4,300, so we need to watch out for those. 12,000 probably won't be going that high. Temperature 9, dew point is 10. Okay, so that's not very widespread there. 3022. Okay, so let's change this here to 3022. Runway 3. Okay, and we need to use runway 3. I need departing runway 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to take off runway 3. Then we're going to come back around and gain some height, and then head down for the special flight rules corridor over LAX. So direction of flight will be southeast initially, and all aircraft read back, hold short instructions, advise controller on initial contact, you have information, something. Wish there was a button to fast forward this. I'm not sure if there is. Sierra. Okay, we have Sierra. Okay, tuned to Santa Monica ground. Okay, so now we're on ground. So we're gonna request taxi departure to the south. Okay, acknowledge that clearance. Very good. The voice is turned off. The reason I have the voice turned off is because I was trying the other day to hook this up with the VATSIM and Pilot Edge, and one of the prerequisites in I think the Pilot Edge instructions was to turn the sound off for those voices. Although I do have Streamlabs OBS recording each individual audio track, so we'll see what we can do afterwards. Okay, so we're here. Good. So we can now, let's go back to ground services. And let's turn off our parking brake and request a pushback. So here comes our pushback person. Oh, hang on. You know what? Now it would look much better if I put that probably down there, wouldn't it? So, request pushback to steer to the left. I wonder, is that their left or my left? Oh, nearly pushed me into a van there. Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see how that all works out, yeah? So we can move this drone camera around here. We have a nice view there of what's going on. Let's turn on our beacon light to let people know that there's some activity going on here. Ah, here we go. Number 2. Number 2 does nothing. Oh, okay, reason for that is we have to click back on the screen. And let's just tell him to stop. Oh, okay, stop. Don't push me into the runway, please. Stop. Thank you very much. Oh, okay, that was interesting. I wonder, would they just keep pushing you right across an active runway? I'm not sure, haven't tried that yet. Okay, let's go back to the clearance. Okay, I think I have to use my okay, so and now I'm gonna go back into my airplane. Okay, so we're all set here. Okay, fuel on, everything is on. Normally wouldn't do this with the avionics on, but such is the way. Okay, feet on the brakes, and let's start her up. Clear prop. There you go. Thank you very much. Okay, so we bring our RPM up here to about... it's sensitive. It's quite good actually, this Bravo throttle quadrant. I like it. With the Satex, maybe they were older. I don't know. I mean, they seem to work pretty good, but the one thing I did notice in the Satex, and some of you may have noticed this too, is that your handle there would often be jumping slightly. You know, if you put it here, it will be bouncing maybe a millimeter back and forth. So yeah, oil temperature is already green actually. See, it stays wherever I put it. So there doesn't seem to be as much, I guess, noise on the buttons. So that's quite good. I'm very happy with that. Brakes are good. Okay, so of course we can jump outside the airplane now. And yep, there we go. I use these at the same time. I'm not a gamer as such, maybe more of a flight simmer, so I'm not extremely used to these Xbox controllers. Landing light on. Okay, can't really see that, can I? No. Let's just go over here. I think we have some sun glare. Okay, landing light I do not notice. Okay, off. Okay, I don't seem to see these. Oh, maybe do I need to click here again? This can be the thing. Click on this screen. And let's see. Landing light on. Oh. Maybe it doesn't work in that view. Maybe I need to go to this view. Now let's see if we turn nav lights on. Yeah, strobe lights on. Okay, that's interesting. So the buttons work differently in different views. Taxi lights, landing lights. Probably some of you have already discovered that the beacon light is on. Okay, let's leave the taxi light on. Yeah, so it can be like the Xbox controller in drone mode. I'm moving the drone all around the place, but then if I change to this outside mode, and you know, I still have my Xbox controller in my hand, and now the drone controls are actually moving my airplane all around the place, which causes a bit of a consternation initially. So on my Alpha Yoke I have one button here set for outside or inside view, and then on the Xbox controller I have a button set for drone or not drone. And if I change this one on the yoke and then this one, and then I press this again, I'm back here. It's kind of strange. Anyway, so okay, how are we gonna cross over here? So I'm not gonna worry about ATC too much. but we need the SMO VOR here for this special flight rules area. So 110.8. So let's go here to the nav, and we can go 10.8. So that's easy to do. Flip that over there. Now that's live. Okay, we can go to PFD actually, and we can bring bearing 1 up on nav 1. Great. So that's did that on the real sim gear buttons. It's really cool. So normally I would probably just fly with a view like this. I don't need to see the rest of that, but it's quite interesting. So that's set up here. Okay, Santa Monica. Okay, 120.1. So what you would normally do is then you would go 1 2, change this COM 120. The way shorter, I guess. Point 1, and just have it lined up there and ready, so that I can flip over, flip back. Say flip over, flip back. Of course, you can always press the buttons too on there. Okay, Santa Monica Tower. Will be my next stop. So we have quite a spin to do to go down here. The cars are almost staying in their lane. And what's quite interesting is, especially in the multiplayer on Microsoft Flight Simulator, is you don't actually collide with other planes, you just seem to fly through them. Which I guess is useful because if a lot of people who are using the multiplayer version just for fun, and maybe they don't know so much about aviation, so I think I went to Sedona once and found a huge group of bush pilots all decided to park in the middle of the runway right after they landed and stayed there for quite a long time, which is of course in the real world not something that you would do. But eventually I gave up waiting for them to move. I couldn't figure out which frequency or anything that they were on, or if the radios were working. So I just landed in the middle of them basically, and kind of didn't seem to matter that much. Okay, so we can stop here now. Okay, we can do a run up. So I'm bringing the RPM up there. So when our brakes are working, that's good. We check one, and we come back, we check the other one, and of course this is G1000 injection engine, so I don't have carb heat here to check, which is great. Okay, you know, in a real airplane, of course, sometimes when you're doing that check, you can get differences. You can get a little sluggish moment or something like that, and different planes have different techniques for sorting that out. And when you pull it back down to idle all the way, it never cuts out in the flight simulator. In real life, when you're renting an airplane, it will sometimes. Okay, so nobody over there, I guess. Again, not such a good habit to get used to, you know, just flying through other airplanes. Is that my shadow? Nope. Okay, so Santa Monica Tower. So now I can just press my flip button, click, and I'm flipped over to tower. Okay, and now I request takeoff. And clear for takeoff, and we acknowledge the takeoff, and that's all wonderful and great. So let's get rid of that and go back up here. So before we do takeoff, I can set my altitude here to 3,500, and I set my vertical speed to say 700. Yeah, good weather, clear air. It shouldn't be too much of a problem. But we'll have to keep an eye on the airspeed, that's for sure. Let's go. We are cleared for takeoff. So, runway 3, we're on taxiway B1. So these rock formations are very interesting for California. Okay, here we go. Oops. That's what happens when you look down and get distracted to check something, huh? Okay, and we can rotate. So this is a really cool takeoff actually, because you know everything's kind of flat around you, and once you get up a bit higher then you can see everything there. You can see the whole area. So normally, as I mentioned, Microsoft Flight Simulator, exceptionally fantastic visuals here. I really like them. That's really good. When you're down close, some stuff does flicker slightly by, but generally not. I had that issue with the flickering with my graphics. Let me just do this. So normally if you press the heading button, it should go to where you're going. It should not go. So let's turn on the autopilot, turn on the heading mode, and let's have her go up there. Good. I'm not going to get much more RPM out of this today, and I can put my vertical speed up here a little bit more. That's good. We're doing a nice climb there. I actually can do this. So yeah, we can see we can jump out of the plane here for a second. Yeah, we can look around. The graphics are really, really good, I think. You know, not everything has been handcrafted and touched yet. Okay, we would have turned already by now, basically. But I'm just having a look around up on the hills there. Somewhere off up there to the north is a house built out of 747 wings that I flew over when I was down there, which was quite an interesting thing to do. Yeah, very nice. Okay, so airing my heading around here. I do a little bit of a turn. Back around and keep gaining our altitude there. So over there, Santa Monica Pier, the beach, the airport, it's all very, very, very nice. So I can kind of stay pattern-wise. Yeah, so the G1000 and all of these things, they tend to work. It's like dancing all over the place now, trying to find this. Okay. Press the course button, it does come to the right place, yeah. So, that's a stall warning going on there. So, we turn off our autopilot, bring it down here a bit, okay. Gather some speed, okay. And now I can turn the autopilot back on again. And our vertical speed, we will leave it like, say, 500 feet per minute. Okay. So. There should be the 132. We should be heading on the 132 radius, so now we can switch over to our nav here, and it should go find that But again, it does tend to. Let me put you back in the cockpit here so you can see what's going on. It tends to swing around quite a bit. I tried actually flying. I just wanted to try recording a video, and I did some randomized flying. I didn't check the weather or anything first, and actually it was in some pretty bad weather. And every time I turned the autopilot on, the airplane just kind of dove off to the side and headed for the ground, which was quite strange. So now we're in the corridor and we're just crossing it, so we will report now where we are, that we're going across this river. Okay, it's not really a river when there's no water. We're at 3,500 feet. You can ease off a little bit on the throttle there. And we can see here, actually, on the PFD, we're crossing over right where we should be crossing over. So that's pretty good. So that's our original GPS plan that I just put in there, but we're not actually following that exactly. So we can go out here, and now you can see this, and I will try and put in some pictures that I took. Yeah, but it looks really cool, I must say, in the Microsoft Flight Simulator. I mean, that is just really cool. And here's something that you can do for fun, which is really good. Yeah, we can hit this active pause button, and then our airplane just kind of sits in the middle of the sky. But the simulator's not paused, everything else is still happening. Look, I can cut my engine, put my engine back. That's pretty interesting. So if I reduce power completely, my airplane's still sitting here. Look at that. That's pretty amazing. So actually, let me see now. I'll actually just turn off the engine. Have some peace and quiet. And here I am sitting in the sky. So that is quite impressive. Completely unrealistic, but it is a pretty cool feature, because now what I can do is I can actually have this bird's eye view with my drone of the whole LAX airport, and that looks pretty amazing. So it does, if I do move the drone a little bit fast, it does kind of, you know, the picture does kind of hop around a little bit, I guess. You know, and there's two buttons which rotate, and I'm always pressing them by accident, and they suddenly, like, you know, just flick my view like this or flick my view like that. Never understood why we'd want them, but now I just have. So if I do this, see, and then I can just roll back around. That is pretty cool. So the morning sun looks fantastic there. The graphics are really amazing, I think. And you know, when you get really close, some of the objects may not look exactly as they do in the real world, but for VFR flying, it's really amazing. Yeah. And you can kind of just, you know, disappear off here. You know. Oh, sorry, I pressed that button again, didn't I? You can change the speed of the drone, or whether it goes up or whether it goes down. It's going down now. But yeah, I just think that there is water in it now. Look, there's water in some of it. Okay, so that's pretty cool. That was our reporting point. Now we cross over here, And yeah, airport's pretty cool. So have I lost my airplane? Oh, it's up there. Okay, let's go back up. Whoa, no, that was the wrong one again. Sorry about that. Yeah, it can be possible to actually lose your drone sometimes. I'm sure there's a button that I can set. But okay, let's get back into the airplane. The simulator hasn't hung up on me yet. I did get my Logitech SATEC flight instrument panels running with 2 files that I got. One was the driver installation and another was a plug-in, but somehow I think it was causing my system to crash now and again. Not completely sure. So we have a warning lamp on here. Okay, if I go back in here, you'll see this warning lamp. So now if I unpause the game, I think my airplane would probably just land directly in LAX, right in the middle of the airport. Straight down, most likely. Definitely braking the landing gear. So let's start her up. And of course I didn't need to put my feet on the brakes that time. Engine is running, everything is in the green. Oil temperature is not quite in the green, which is interesting. Now we could have cooled down that fast. And I guess we are up here pretty high up. Oil temperature is coming back up. And okay, that's in the green. So let's bring our RPM back up here, and we press the pause button. Ah, there we go. That wasn't too bad. So let's have a look down again at LAX. Really cool. I have traffic turned off for this video, but you could turn on live traffic and see airplanes moving around, which is pretty cool. Let's worry about our navigation. Yeah. So we're heading down towards Hawthorne Highway, and we check here now, Hawthorne Highway, and that's basically the end of the surface to 10,000 area and the end of the Los Angeles Special Flight Rules area. And the next seating there would be 5,000. And in our direction, the ceiling's generally increasing. 5,000, I mean, by airspace, not weather ceilings. So, yeah, one thing that is interesting here is if I bring up my flight plan and go in here, I can't just go here and press direct to button. It brings up the direct to screen with nothing in it. That's kind of annoying, especially if you're using it for some IFR flying, you know, and they might very regularly the tower may say, you know, cleared to such and such a waypoint directly, and then you go directly to the waypoint and continue on your approach. Can't seem to do that. What I can do is you can go there and you can hit the activate leg button. And what I've noticed about the activate leg button is it never quite seems to bring me where I thought I was going. So if I have, like, say 3 more fixes on my approach, I press active leg and now I want to go to fix number 3 or 2, it seems to always bring me to the final approach fix. I don't know why that is. But as I said, I guess I was spoiled because the G1000 that I was using in the X-plane was really excellent training aid, absolutely. So there should be Hawthorne Highway down there. We go. Look at what happened there now. Getting some motion blur. Look at that though. The graphics are very amazing, and the view is very amazing. And when I did fly over here with the instructor, A slightly older airplane, but we were definitely working all the radios and every frequency, and probably could have done with even some more radio equipment. So, yeah, then let's turn. Let's head south. And let's change this over here to the heading bug. Let's go here now. Let me pop over nav here to see if we do 1.4, 1.4. What is it? 1.4. Ah, yeah. There we go. Look at that. No, note that is not on the airport, but it's pretty close to it. So we can use that. So give it a bit more power here. And we should be heading over to Catalina. So let's pop out and enjoy the view here while we're looking around the place. So can I do that here without? Oh no, yes I can. Be careful. I think somewhere here ahead of me was a golf course. And over there is that old British steamship that I stayed on once, which was quite nice. Did the whole haunted ghost tour and all that. We flew over that ship on our way back from Catalina, so in part 2 of this trip, in my second video, I will try and do that. Fly over that and have a look at it. From a closer viewpoint, if we can see it, of course. I don't have any add-on scenery for here. This is the default scenery, but it's pretty good. You know, it's definitely pretty good. Okay, so our next airspace now we're about to enter, and it's gonna be up to 8,000. So just give it a minute to get there. Where are we? We're not there yet. But look at that. I mean, that's just really fantastic. Yeah, when I'm pointing straight at things, I still get this slight kind of shudder when they're moving in some areas. It's kind of weird, actually. It's like here I don't really seem to get anything. Here I do. There should be like a golf course right around here that I was told would be a possible emergency landing position if we were... Ah yes, there it is. Right underneath us. Very nice. And there's Catalina Island over there. So I was in Newport Beach, so I think where I got the ferry out to Catalina Island and spent a day there. Had never seen a buffalo before in my life. Did see some over here, in the distance of course, pretty far away. It's not like a zoo or anything, thank God, keeping those poor animals locked up. They just roam around over there. So yeah, the island is kind of split in the middle. There's a little bit of land in the middle there, which might be flat enough to land on if you needed to. The section of the island on the left is where Catalina Airport is. They do not like straight-in approaches for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. Maybe they want everybody to buzz the tower, I don't know. What we could do now, of course, is to 0.675 to 0. Show what I'm doing here. 120.675. Of course, I don't hear anything then, for some reason. Okay, no, we're not gonna. Not all the radio stuff is working yet, I guess. Or maybe I just don't have my setup configured correctly. There's a wonderful amount of things to set up here. It's incredible, really. So we can go up now. Vertical speed. Let's go up. And let me go back on my map to see where we are. So we have a glide circle now, which on ForeFlight is telling me that I'm pretty much gonna land on that golf course. That's about it. That's where we are. So unfortunately I can't show you this on the screen. I did see some other people doing it, and then I did some research and found out that yeah, if you're using a Apple computer to record, you can plug your iPad into the Apple computer, and you can also record what's on the iPad screen. It doesn't seem to work with Windows, so yeah. Anyway, I don't know if we can get one up here, can we, on the map? See, GPS, okay. So logical, okay. Nextrad is actually pretty good on here because it does give me some weather, which is really interesting. And so our ceiling above us now is 8,000 feet. Yeah, so when I was in Catalina, I learned that the first time I flew there, they don't like the straight in. I'm not sure why. Maybe because there's so much water, they don't want, you know, they want people over the land first, so they see them, or I don't know. But I'm sure there's a valid reason. Had quite a nice time there actually, and chatted to quite a lot of people. So the reason that this airport is very significant to me is because I went there in 2004 on a vacation, stayed overnight, saw this airport in the sky, went there, took some pictures, cool airplanes, knew nothing about airplanes except that they were really cool and I wanted one. And then I was standing there thinking to myself, I watched a DC-3 take off actually. DC-3 took off over the edge of the cliff and then it disappeared down where you couldn't see it, I guess gaining speed, and then he came back up again. That was quite interesting, and he took off on the dirt strip, so it was also quite interesting. And then I thought, you know, back to the days of a small child with my little plastic Airfix airplane models, if I was lucky to get one for my birthday. And I always wanted to be a pilot, or I got some kind of a funny feeling when I was on that island, and that stayed with me. And then I went back to California, and people were so nice. And it's amazing, you know. I met so many people. Maybe it's just the people I met. I don't know. But I did meet a lot of people who they were just always encouraging their spouses or their kids or whoever else, and filling them full of confidence. And that kind of started happening to me too. People are like, "Yeah, well, do it. Why not? Of course you can do it," you know. And I had never seen this before, but the sheer abundance of giving people confidence and support and believing in all your friends, and that was really quite interesting. So it rubbed off on me, and yeah, then I went back to Europe, where they took the wind out of my sails, but I still had this in my head. So I bought all the books and got my Microsoft Flight Simulator X, and started learning all about airplanes and aviation, and loved it, loved everything I learned, and kept reading and reading and reading, which was fantastic. So let's have a look outside again. Yeah, there's the water. Okay. So as far as I know, I want to be about 2,000 feet entering the pattern. Yeah, anyway, one day I decided, enough of this flying around in the simulator. I didn't have a setup like I have now, but I thought, I saved up 4 weeks of vacation. Okay, and I thought, yeah, let's go to Florida for maybe 1 or 2 weeks, and maybe I'll land an airplane once in my life. And then I wanted to visit some friends in different parts of the States. I seem to have made quite a lot of friends over there. All wonderful people. Anyway, I met more people who kept believing in me, gave me more confidence, and before you know it, I returned to Europe and had to explain that I spent 4 weeks in Florida and never set foot on the beach. What I did do was, do some revision study every night in the hotel room, and train every day, and I got my sport pilot license. So that was pretty incredible, actually. I felt amazing. I felt absolutely amazing. I came back the next year, did some more, and came back again, and the next year again did some more, and then I managed to get my private pilot license. And basically, right after I passed my check ride, I went and started packing and looked up online. I got a flight 1 or 2 days later, maybe 2 days later. Arrived in California, and yeah, that was really, really cool. Let's go down, slower down a bit here. We're well within gliding distance now of several landing spots. So I don't have a whole pile of experience flying. It was only kind of a thing I did on my holidays, but I came over, looked it up, found Santa Monica, a school, an instructor and an airplane, and off we went. We did this flight, came in here, which is really, really nice. Yeah. Then we grabbed some food. I couldn't believe it. Sat down, grabbed some food. So I have a picture of myself at home standing in front of the tower as a tourist after getting off a bus and saying, oh, this place is really cool. And then I have a picture of me standing in front of the tower after paying the landing fee, because there is a landing fee here. And that was really, really cool. So I was very, very happy about that. And it's amazing, just like that, there's one side of the island, there's the other side. Isn't that incredible? And there's the airport right over there. So I'll try and put in some pictures into this video of actually going there. Hopefully somebody enjoys my story. I'm not just ranting away. I'm probably just ranting away. But I hope at least I will enjoy to watch this, and maybe some other people will as well. Coastline. Okay, we have our gliding distance within distance. Okay, so knock off our autopilot there and power back down. So they don't quite like you to come in directly here. For some reason. Lower than this. I want to hit the pattern in about 2,580 or 2,600, I guess. So we have a nice descent going here. Okay, let's add one notch of flaps. Let's go back into the cockpit so you can see what's going on. So right now we would need, of course, spot frequency. I should be here. It's Avalon Tower, Catalina Airport in the Sky, or the new name, which I've forgotten. Yeah, so November 830 Sierra Papa is entering the downwind for right. Entering the right downwind for runway 22. What am I doing? Okay, my height is coming along there nicely. And okay, that's it now. We're entering the right downwind for runway 22. So now we want to be going basically in the opposite direction of runway 22 to stay in the downwind and allowing for a wind. So we have 4 knots of wind there. So we're going to land with a slight tailwind, which is actually fine because due to the fact that the runway is upsloping, they prefer runway 22, and you can get told to use runway 22 even if you have a slight tailwind. So we look out over here now. Oh, we don't see it. Okay, if we go out here we'll see it. There we go. There's a runway over there. Very nice. Okay, so nice steady descent. I don't want to descend too much, slightly on the ever so slightly high here, due to the fact that this side of the island is often known to have downdrafts, significant downdrafts. Of course, if the wind is coming from my nose, then this side is possibly going to have a slight updraft. When the wind is coming from the other direction, it's coming over the island and then it's coming down onto the cool water. So now we tell them we're turning on our base for right base for runway 22. Okay, and we're on our right base, 2,200. That's very nice. Okay, I'm gonna give it another notch of flap so we can start turning it around now. Airport should be coming up right now. 77. So we have reduced our power a little bit more. I've turned a little bit too early there. Okay. So I'm going to keep it up around 2,000 for a little bit more. I might just get my trim wheel going there. So I think I did a better approach the first time. So okay, 2,000. Good. So let's see, do we have that updraft here? I think we do have a little bit of an updraft here. So we can reduce our power, give it some more flaps. And of course you would put your carb on right now if you had carb, keeping our speed. So it's interesting because you have the illusion, you know, that you're too low, but you're not. You actually have quite a bit of ground to go underneath you. That illusion is probably good if you have. So here we go, our nose up slightly more. Okay, seem to be jumping around there quite a bit. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Bring up our flaps here. Let's have a check there. You know, just check left and right, nobody around. That's good. So these controllers are really nice, actually. I love the Bravo throttle quadrant. I think a great deal for the price. Waiting 2 years for it was a little bit annoying. So now we should park here and then push the airplane back in. but we're going to do this. Which is also a possibility, but not really the way to do things. Okay, there we go. I came here, got inspired, and thanks to all the wonderful people who helped me along the way and encouraged me. And it's just such a great buzz. Every time I land here, it's just such a great buzz. I try to do it every 1 or 2 years if I can, and yeah. The problem is, I guess, with the COVID curtain, or whatever you want to call it, transatlantic travel is not so easy at the moment. But I will be there. I will be back next summer, 2021. Let's do it. Okay, so now I turn off all our lights except for the beacon lights. Okay, let's put on our parking brake. Let's turn off our avionics. And then let's turn off our mixture. And now we can switch to our drone camera and check out Catalina, because this is where I came with my instructor in the airplane, and yeah, where we took November 830 Sierra Papa, let her have a rest. Colors were slightly different. I think they were red, black and grey stripes, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe. Such a beautiful place. And before you go for lunch, of course, you can stop and listen. Might hear some animals, some birds. Don't see any buffalo, but I'm sure if I flew around the entire island with the drone, I would see them. Okay, let's switch to the drone camera and let's go for lunch. And hopefully, if you guys like this video, you know, let me know whatever you do. This is the first video on my channel, so you know, if there's a thumbs up or subscription, costs nothing, I think, to subscribe, as far as I know. Yeah, would be nice. Give me some more encouragement, and I can make part 2. And part 2 would be, of course, back in the plane. We did a lap around Catalina, not the whole of Catalina, but the bigger island of the two. Okay, I know it's just one island, but it looks like two. Did a tour around that. We saw Catalina town. I'm throwing some pictures as well while I'm doing that I actually took out the window of the airplane in reality, so you can see what it looks like and how close it is to the simulator. And then yeah, then we head back over to LA and check out the Hollywood sign and a few bits and pieces, land in Santa Monica. And then yeah, next time I'm over, it's I took a different airplane. I think did I take a DA-40 maybe the second time I came over, like 2 years later. And in that plane we landed here, went back, and we saw some different things on the way back, a little bit of a tour. A couple of years later, 2 years again maybe. I'd love to go there every year, but what can you do? Hopefully next summer. Okay, take care. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, if you want, hang on a second, I'm going to fly the drone around and talk some more if you're not bored already of listening to me. Yes, I can. And my drone is over here. Okay, so it kind of tags along with you, but almost like in the last position. So yeah, we have some grass. I don't see any buffalo. I don't think they'd be up here anyway, would they? No. So there's a lot of these, which when I came over I thought they had roads everywhere, but they're actually fire breaks. Did I hear something? Don't know. Okay. So now we can go up here in our drone, and yeah, I have a picture in front of this. That's where the bus came up. And this is where I went in and paid my fee. So you come over here and then you just walk up the steps, basically. Yeah? And there is a nice little layout map thing here. Let's see if we can see it. Yes, this is quite nice. This definitely does exist. That's there too. Airport in the sky, Catalina Island. Yeah, that's it. So, Catalina Island Conservatory. I have to check if that's the exact same sign as what they had there when I was there. I'll pop in another one or two pictures. There's a kind of a restaurant place here. I bought myself a couple of baseball hats and t-shirts, and then over this side I could sit. There we go, and the seats are still there. Look at that. That's incredible, yeah. So if I came over here, and now this is really amazing because I sat just here basically. Yep, that's where I sat, and we had lunch here. That was pretty amazing, yeah. I'm sure it was so greenish at the time. Yeah, amazing. So, then after lunch, of course, we went back to our plane. And then on the way back, so we didn't take too much time on the way here. I just wanted to get here. And there was a lot of learning involved, of course, too. When we took off on the way back, we flew back over and we did like the LA Basin and Hollywood and that type of stuff. I think the following year I came here again, and yeah, and then I went over in this direction and crossed in between the along the flat area of in between the two islands. Well, I guess it's one island, but there's kind of a division there. And then I circumferenced the island, went over and saw the town, came back and then headed over back that way. Another time I came over here, did the same thing, went around, went back, but that's when I went up and saw on the way back the 747 house and all that. Which, if I find a picture of that, I'd be very happy to share it. So, that's it then. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna try and edit it a little bit, and I'm sure at some stage through editing I'll just maybe get fed up dropping up the video and post it and see. Hopefully somebody will watch it and somebody will enjoy it and somebody will let me know. And if you do enjoy it, yeah, let me know, give me a comment or subscribe or thumbs up or the little bell or all of them or whatever you want to do. I don't know. As you'll see, this is the first video on my channel. I did have another channel years ago that I did just one or two things to share with friends, but I'm gonna try and see if I can put some more things on here and maybe make it a bit useful. This is just for fun. Maybe I can show people, share some of my knowledge. I know a little bit about aviation. I have a license to learn, as they say, and I also know a little bit about IT, computers, and the simulator. So we will see how it goes. Let me know. Okay. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.